Have you ever wondered how far your dollar goes when it comes to raiding versus Dynamax battles? Perhaps you've participated in discourse online about whether the relatively new Dynamax format is a worthwhile use of your time or resources. Today, I'd like to dissect the numbers around Dynamax and Gigantamax battles and how they stack up against raids. We'll discuss the different financial implications, so as a player and consumer, you can make the most informed decisions about how to spend your time. Before we get into it though, my name is Antarcticuno, otherwise known as the Dynamax Doctor, and if you're interested in hearing more in-depth Pokemon Go analysis, please consider subscribing down below. Firstly, one might wonder, why should we care at all about the value of Dynamax battles? As we head into the upcoming Dark Skies and Max Finale events, there will be ample opportunities to participate in returning 5-star and 6-star Dynamax battles. As a recap, Dark Skies will be a week-long event featuring the return of all legendary Dynamax Pokemon in 5-star battles, starting on August 18th and running until August 22nd. This will culminate in the Max Finale event on August 23rd and August 24th, which will feature both the debut of Eternamax Eternatus battles and the return of all previously released Gigantamax Pokemon. Importantly though, it's not yet clear how many battles players will be able to partake in for free, and thus today's video topic seems important to understand. How can you, a consumer and player of the game, make the most informed decision about whether this is a worthwhile event for you? Let's begin with some of the basics. Raids have been a fixture of Pokemon Go since the near beginning, and at the highest available tiers offer some solid rewards. For the cost of one raid pass, costing about 100 Pokecoins without factoring in any discounts, players can participate in a 5 or 6-star raid, which upon successful completion rewards 10,000 experience and 2,500 Stardust. For this and future assumptions, let's use a simple conversion rate of 1 Pokecoin to be 1 cent, or 100 Pokecoins equaling $1, roughly. This results in some easy math for raids. For each dollar spent on raids, one can expect a return of 10,000 XP and 2,500 Stardust. As mentioned previously, Dynamax battles are a newer fixture to the PvE ecosystem. Similar to raids, you can battle a boss Pokemon and upon completion, receive rewards. However, there are some differences, notably when it comes to 5-star and 6-star Dynamax battles, ranging from the cost to participate to the scaling for rewards. For a 5-star Dynamax battle, you can expect to spend around $1.50 to participate, again without any discounts, and will receive 15,000 XP and 15,000 Stardust on success. Taking these rewards and dividing them by the cost, we can see that for 5-star Dynamax battles, one can earn 10,000 XP and 10,000 Stardust per dollar spent. Similar to the 5-star Dynamax battles, 6-star Dynamax battles, otherwise known as Gigantamax battles, offer an even higher tier of rewards for the same cost. Instead of 15,000 XP and Stardust for successfully completing a battle, Gigantamax battles reward 25,000 XP and 25,000 Stardust, all for the same cost of 800 max particles. Applying the same calculations here, we can see that for every dollar spent on Gigantamax battles, one can obtain 16,700 XP and 16,700 Stardust. As a quick recap, here are our base rewards for dollars spent for each rating option we'll be discussing today. We can see that already, Dynamax and Gigantamax battles are outperforming raids in terms of rewards per dollar spent. But what about some of the other ways we can augment the amount of XP or Stardust one can earn? Let's first dive into the question of whether we can do better XP-wise. The Lucky Egg is an item that when used provides a temporary 2x bonus to any XP gained. So to start with, let's see how this affects the cost valuation of raids. With this 2x bonus, raids confer a 20,000 XP reward, with an updated cost of about $1.80. This results in raids awarding 11,100 XP per dollar spent when using a Lucky Egg. Updating our 5-star Dynamax battle numbers, we can see that Dynamax battles bump to 30,000 experience per battle, with an updated total cost of $2.30, leading to a final output of 13,000 experience per dollar spent on 5-star Dynamax battles with a Lucky Egg active. And, as with before, Gigantamax battles yield an even higher total. 50,000 experience divided by a $2.30 cost basis results in an output of 21.7 thousand XP per dollar spent on Gigantamax battles with a Lucky Egg active. One additional option, only available in Dynamax battles, is the ability to spend an extra 200 coins to apply another 2x modifier to your resulting XP and Stardust yields. So it's noteworthy to track this option as well. An updated XP yield of 60,000 XP divided by an updated cost basis of $4.30 results in 14,000 XP per dollar spent when completing a 5-star Dynamax battle with a Lucky Egg active and opting for a double-up. And when it comes to Gigantamax battles, we can see that 100,000 XP divided by the same updated $4.30 cost basis results in 23.3 thousand XP per dollar spent on Gigantamax battles with a Lucky Egg active and opting for the double-up. If we add these numbers to the baseline established before, we can see how adding the Lucky Egg and the double-up impacts our return on experience per dollar spent in each raid format. Perhaps we're starting to see a trend here. Dynamax battles continue to outperform raids in the experience category, with Gigantamax battles providing almost double the value experience-wise than raids when using a Lucky Egg. So if we know that experience is a no-brainer category for Dynamax battles, what about Stardust? Again, let's dig into these numbers using another augmenting item, the Star Piece. Unlike the Lucky Egg, which doubles your experience yield, the Star Piece offers a much more modest buff at a higher price. The Star Piece confers a 1.5x multiplier to any earned Stardust while active, so for raids, one can expect an updated dust yield of 3.75 thousand Stardust with an updated cost basis of about $2, resulting in raids rewarding 1.9 thousand Stardust per dollar spent with a Star Piece active. For 5-star Dynamax battles, we divide the updated 22.5 thousand Stardust yield by the new $2.50 cost basis for 9,000 Stardust per dollar spent with a Star Piece active. For Gigantamax battles, we can take the updated 37.5 thousand Stardust yield and divide that by the updated cost basis of $2.50 to get 15,000 Stardust per dollar spent on Gigantamax battles, while a Star Piece is active, of course. And as mentioned before, the 200 coin double-up option applies to earned Stardust as well, providing an additional 2x multiplier for any earned Stardust that stacks with the bonus from the Star Piece. So, for 5-star Dynamax battles, we can see the yield jump to 45,000 Stardust with a new cost basis of $4.50. This brings us to 10,000 Stardust per dollar spent on 5-star Dynamax battles with both the Star Piece active and the double-up exercise purchased. For Gigantamax battles, we'll update these numbers to be 75,000 Stardust and divide that by the $4.50 cost basis to get a valuation of 16.7 thousand Stardust per dollar spent when both the Star Piece is active and the double-up exercise is purchased. If those numbers seem familiar, it's because they are. Despite appearances, using a Star Piece, especially one purchased at the list price of 100 Pokecoins, actually results in lower Stardust returns for you as the player. Only through using the Star Piece and the double-up are you able to achieve the same value as the unmodified Stardust yields. This might lead us to a question. Since the double-up was responsible for helping make our Stardust yields worth it again, would it be better to just use the double-up option for Dynamax and Gigantamax battles by themselves? In other words, what would happen if we skipped the Star Piece or Lucky Egg entirely? For 5-star battles, this makes our math a bit easier. We take the base 15,000 XP in Stardust and multiply it by 2, while adding the 200 coin cost to our basis, resulting in a total of 8.6 thousand XP and 8.6 thousand Stardust per dollar spent using just the Double Up exercise. For Gigantamax battles, we'll apply the same, taking a 50,000 XP and Stardust yield and dividing it by our updated $3.50 cost basis. This yields 14.3 thousand XP and 14.3 thousand Stardust per Gigantamax battle using just the Double Up option. So as we can see here, the Double Up exercise also isn't as worth it on its own as it might seem. Compared to the numbers shown just a few moments ago when using a Star Piece and Lucky Egg, these yields seem to be the worst yet. Can we do any better? Is there something we might be missing here? I mentioned earlier that we'd be using the base costs for Star Pieces and Lucky Eggs to keep things simpler, and indeed, that did help us get a more simplified perspective on our costs. But Pokemon Go does support some Evergreen discounts in the shop that do make bulk purchasing a more cost-effective option. How will this affect our numbers? On screen is a brief recap of the current pricing for Raid Passes, Particle Packs, Star Pieces, and Lucky Eggs. These numbers may change with the times, but the theory here is timeless. We'll divide the bulk price of each option by the number of items received to get the updated pricing per Raid Pass, Particle Pack, etc. Then, we'll use these updated costs in our cost basis and perform the same exercises as we've done before to divide the amount of XP and Stardust earned from each configuration to figure out just how far our money goes when we use these Evergreen discounts. And these are the resulting numbers when we factor in those discounts. There are a few things that I think are noteworthy here. For one, we still see Dynamax battles outperforming raids in the Stardust department. Notably, the discount in Raid Pass cost does seem to equalize the XP value with 5-star Dynamax battles, even outperforming it without any augmentations like Lucky Eggs or the Double Up option. Nonetheless, we do still see Gigantamax battles consistently outperforming all others yet again. So where do we go from here? Can we summarize anything that we've seen to help us make decisions as players and consumers of Pokemon Go? I think the answer to that is yes. I've constructed this chart with all of the data we've collected thus far to help visualize these conclusions. To best dispense any advice, let's roleplay a bit as the different types of player personas who might care about different things in the game. For players who care about features like trading, PvP, or even just powering Pokemon up, Stardust is the primary resource that they care about. Across the board, we can see that Dynamax and Gigantamax battles consistently outperform raids when it comes to Stardust yields. Even with the discounts offered to raids and the use of a Star Piece, the starting point of 2.5 thousand Stardust has not scaled well with the game over the years, with raids being unable to compete with options such as Gigantamax, which can cap out at 75,000 Stardust per battle. Another player persona who might look at this data and come to conclusions would be those players who have not yet hit the level cap level 50, and are thus seeking more experience. In this, we can see that again, Dynamax battles and Gigantamax battles are consistently outperforming raids, with Gigantamax battles offering XP yields unreachable even by the 5-star Dynamax battles. For free-to-play players, or folks who try to spend as little money on Pokemon Go as possible, this may continue to prove useful to you as well. You'll note that in this chart where we've plotted the quantity of rewards per dollar spent, that Gigantamax battles consistently provide the most value XP-wise and Stardust-wise over other options. So to conclude this investigation into the value of different rating options currently available in Pokemon Go, I believe it is fair to state that for both XP and Stardust seekers, Dynamax battles provide the most value for your money, with Gigantamax battles being better than both other Dynamax battles and raids if you want to get the most bang for your buck. I hope you found today's deep dive into the value analysis of raids and Dynamax battles enlightening. If you learned something or found anything surprising in today's video, drop a comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe while you're at it. Till next time.